If they're gonna get the money up to dig her body back up and have a real autopsy done on there, have a real investigation on there, who's it gonna hurt?
I didn't know Cassie, but I knew somebody who was going through the same thing she was going through, and that was Kim Porter.
Kim was fine the day before and the day of her death, and then now she found in the bed dead from pneumonia. That just don't sound right.
Diddy was the one who set him up with the chick, you dig? So it's probably safe to say that Diddy, a whole lot of these people are sharing diseases and swapping bodily fluids, but you have not heard a mention of a condom.
I don't think nobody in America thinks there's nothing suspicious about Kim's death, bro. If you are rich like that, you could, Kim had, I think, a net worth of like, what, 12 million a year or something like that? Kim could have called any doctor to come over and look at her. If she was that bad, she could have called an ambulance or something like that. Everything is suspicious about her death, bruh. And I don't think an autopsy was done on her. And if it was a half.
Gene Deal posed a question that cut straight to the heart of Hollywood silence. If Kim Porter's body were ever exhumed, who would really suffer? The answer, insiders claim, is everyone. Allegations suggest she did not die from pneumonia, but from a truth so dangerous that powerful figures allegedly ensured her death was disguised as natural causes, following the same calculated pattern of abuse that nearly destroyed Cassie and, this time, completely destroyed Kim. But her death, critics argue, was not just about silencing a victim. It was about burying something far larger. Multiple sources now allege that for decades Diddy knowingly spread HIV through coercive encounters, and that a full, independent autopsy was never aggressively pursued because Kim's body could have revealed biological evidence the industry desperately wanted hidden. If exposed, the truth surrounding her death could unravel an entire system built on secrecy, exploitation, and buried bodies. Tonight's investigation asks why Kim Porter allegedly had to die to protect hip-hop's darkest secret. Who else may be at risk, and why? To understand her death, we must first understand her life. A life marked by a relentless cycle of control, where every attempt to escape was met with force pulling her back into Diddy's web.
Kim Porter says she dumped Diddy.
I feel like...
In a statement to the TV show The Insider, she says she decided to end what she calls her on-again, off-again relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. She says it was best interest of both them and their family.
Archived news coverage reveals a cycle that played out in plain sight. Kim Porter tried repeatedly to walk away, and each time Diddy managed to pull her back. What the media never acknowledged, however, was the alleged violence operating behind the scenes. Force and intimidation that insiders claim made those reunions not romantic reconciliations, but moments of survival, leaving Kim with no real choice but to return.
I know Kim got tired. That's why she took that corkscrew and ripped his damn arm out. Tried to rip his arm off for putting his hands on him. I know she was tired. Them pillow fights and that smothering her with the pillows and all that, like he playing with her. I know she was tired.
Gene Deal's words land with disturbing weight. Kim Porter was exhausted, not just physically depleted, but spiritually broken after years of alleged abuse at the hands of Diddy. When someone with first-hand knowledge says a woman was tired, it signals she had reached the very edge of her endurance. This was not isolated or occasional violence. It was described as a deliberate, systematic campaign designed to crush her will. Each time Kim tried to leave, sources claim the abuse intensified, fear replacing affection as the primary tool of control. And the physical violence, insiders insist, was only one layer of a much larger confinement, suggesting her captivity extended far beyond what the public was ever allowed to see.
Kim couldn't have nobody, bro. Kim couldn't have nobody. You understand what I'm saying, bro? Diddy could do whatever, Puff could do whatever he wanted to do, Brother Love could do whoever he wanted to be. If Kim ever tried to get with somebody, Puff would interfere with them or with her trying to be with them. He wasn't letting that happen. unless he was bringing them to the picture. That's what he used Kim for, bro. He wanted to make a deal with somebody. He'll get another girl and a guy who that he's trying to make a deal with, and him and Kim, them, they all party together, man. He used Kim for that.
This reveals the financial machinery behind Kim Porter's alleged entrapment. She was not treated simply as Diddy's partner. Insiders claim she was leveraged as a business instrument, pressured into facilitating deals by being forced to provide access to her body. According to these allegations, major contracts were tied to her involvement, making any attempt to escape not just dangerous, but economically impossible. In this framing, Kim Porter was not only a survivor of domestic violence, but also a victim of systematic trafficking, exploited to secure power and profit, then punished whenever she resisted. And when she died, critics argue the investigation wasn't merely inadequate, it was deliberately weakened. With every detail, Gene Deal says he witnessed pointing toward a coordinated effort to suppress the truth rather than uncover it.
You got to realize, man, Kim's death wasn't even investigated, bro. Her death wasn't even investigated. And it should have been a proper investigation so all the family members can feel like that there was no foul play in her death. How is it that you know how we are as a people? I don't believe that 10% of your viewers that's watching this don't keep their phone when they go to sleep in arm reach. How is it that there was no electronic products or gadgets around Kim's bed? Her laptop missing, her cell phone's missing. Everything is missing that she could get in touch with her little girls if they not at home or her friends or family. All that's missing. How is it that, and this is hearsay, that the detectives did not even view the body in the bed where she died at? That the coroner had already removed her, pronounced her dead, and told the detectives that it was no foul play. And if that is true, as I've heard it, and we read certain things on the internet about it, that case needs to be reopened. We know that Kim, and it's in the this is in the documentation. Shout out to paperwork. At the paperwork part, I gotta shout him out, man, because he looked in the paperwork and it said Kim received a massage for about an hour when she's supposed to have full-blown pneumonia. Who gives somebody a massage when they got pneumonia? And do we know whether she used that baby oil or not for that massage? It makes you say, that's a big man.
Step by step, Gene Deal lays out what he believes was a coordinated conspiracy. The coroner allegedly moved Kim Porter's body before detectives arrived, quickly dismissed foul play, and closed the case without a thorough investigation. Reports of a massage being performed during severe pneumonia, along with missing electronic devices, only deepened the suspicion. Critics argue this wasn't simple negligence, but a deliberate effort to destroy or control evidence, with someone powerful allegedly ensuring her death appeared natural while blocking anything that could challenge the official pneumonia explanation. The reported disappearance of key witness accounts adds an even darker dimension, reinforcing claims that the truth surrounding Kim Porter's death was intentionally buried rather than pursued.
It's in the police report. That this is in the police report that Dallas Austin's daughter, who was a friend of Kim, left her house at 8 o'clock. That Kim had made a call, 911 call at 2:15 that morning. And I don't know what happened in the 911 call or what was said. But they said that Dallas Austin's daughter according to Kim's father, was the woman that left her house at 8:15. So she was the last person, according to her, to see Kim alive.
Gene Deal's account involving Dallas Austin's daughter is among the most disturbing elements of his claims. According to him, she was reportedly present at the time of Kim Porter's death, yet never provided a statement and has remained silent as rumors persisted. To critics, that silence narrows the possibilities to two unsettling scenarios: either a witness too afraid to speak or someone more directly involved. When the only individual capable of offering first-hand testimony in a suspicious death stays quiet for years, they argue it signals more than a desire for privacy. It suggests fear, pressure, or potential complicity. Still, Gene Deal's assertions, supporters acknowledge, needed independent confirmation to carry real weight, and they say that confirmation emerged separately through Jaguar Wright, who claims access to her own network of industry insiders and alleges she arrived at the same conclusions about Kim Porter's fate without coordination.
Do you think Diddy killed Kim Porter?
Absolutely. I can say that without...
Put the mic on, put it on both of us for that. I need to know, do you think that Diddy killed Kim Porter?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because of all the videotapes, because of the book, because of all the people she gave copies of her book to, or at least chapters, because of everything that she had on him, because of the tape that she used to blackmail him into a relationship and into a raise of him being by Andre Harrell. And I am not saying that allegedly, because I heard her and Kim Noor talking about it in the booth of the bathroom while snorting cocaine at the Kit Kat.
According to these accounts, Kim Porter was allegedly eliminated because she possessed evidence that could have permanently incriminated Diddy, a claim framed not as isolated speculation but as corroboration between independent insiders. Advocates argue that when two witnesses with separate access to information arrive at the same conclusion about a suspicious death, the narrative shifts from rumor to credible testimony suggesting criminal conduct. Jaguar Wright goes even further, asserting that critical evidence did not disappear with Kim's death and that materials capable of exposing the truth allegedly still exist, raising the stakes far beyond a single unresolved case.
I know a good few of the people that got a piece of that book. The truth is, Diddy was highly paranoid right before Kim passed away. And when he found out her and Cassie were still secretly talking and meeting, it became a very explosive situation for everyone who knew about it. Lunch at the Ivy. I hate the fact that she felt so terrified to tell the truth about the man that she had 3 biological children with, that she felt the need to have to be as covert as she was. But I'm grateful that Kim got her truth to people that she trusted. Problem is she didn't know who she could trust and couldn't trust. None of us in the game ever really did. I have no doubt in my mind that pieces of that memoir have been acquired by the home team, and that actors were incorporated so that they could put just enough spin to create reasonable doubt in the jury pool. Smart.
Jaguar Wright alleges that portions of Kim Porter's unfinished book still exist among people within her circle, but her claims go further, asserting that Diddy became increasingly paranoid in the period leading up to Kim's death because Kim and Cassie were allegedly sharing details of their nearly identical experiences of mistreatment. Critics argue that the timing is critical. Kim died while she was comparing accounts with other women and documenting what appeared to be a broader, consistent pattern of abuse, raising suspicions that her death, officially labeled natural, was actually intended to stop damaging evidence from ever being compiled. Jaguar's most explosive assertion, however, is that Kim's death was not an isolated incident, but part of a much wider and deeply entrenched pattern designed to silence those who came too close to exposing the truth.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas. And then the next thing you know, You want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has he happened? He must be the luckiest, because it seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning. On. Just him. I guess Al disappointed you. You know, it's speak for a reason.
According to these claims, Kim Porter's death was not an isolated act of retaliation but part of a broader, systematic effort to remove witnesses while disguising their deaths as natural causes. Supporters of this theory argue that the method allegedly used against Kim becomes more apparent when viewed alongside Big Homie CC's first-hand assertions about poisoning practices he links to Diddy, methods he claims were not unique to one case, but applied repeatedly to multiple individuals who posed a threat to the same powerful circle.
Well, I know he poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact.
So, wait, you're saying that Diddy poisoned Jamie Foxx and that's how Jamie Foxx got sick?
Jamie Foxx reported this man to the FBI because of this. Fact.
Wow. Okay, and how did you hear about this, if you can tell me, or if you can't?
These people poison people, bro. I've been poisoned 3 times. Why am I testing positive for cyanide? You feel me? Why do I had pneumonia 3 times? So people like, man, why he breathe like that? Because I only got 1 lung. And then I had a car crash, I got 1 nostril permanently blocked. And I done had pneumonia 3 times. Somebody been trying to poison me. My brother got poisoned with me. The little lady I was bodyguarding, she got poisoned. Like, somebody is carrying on these antics. These is facts.
Big Homie CC is said to provide the missing link in this alleged pattern of harm, claiming that Kim Porter was poisoned using the same method he asserts was applied to both Jamie Foxx and himself after attending Diddy's parties, each developing pneumonia-like symptoms and later testing positive for cyanide exposure. Critics argue this mirrors the reported circumstances of Kim's death, reinforcing suspicions of a deliberate, repeated tactic. One of the most emotional accounts comes from Al B. Sure, described as Kim's first love, who says he witnessed her desperate attempts to escape the abuse and nearly risked his own life in a bid to expose what was happening to her.